Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a great Tuesday and a fabulous week so far. Today we're going to be diving into Cardano. We've not covered it in around about 4 or 5 days now, and I'm seeing a lot of people in my comment section on my daily cryptocurrency market updates asking why that is. And we did tell you a couple of weeks back that we weren't just going to be spamming Cardano content every day. We're going to make a video when needed. Unlike the majority of other influencers out there or individuals that talk about Cardano, I don't think there's any need to release a video when you've already said what you need to say in prior. And we do touch on it and the general cryptocurrency market from a price point of view in our daily cryptocurrency market updates. So this is a video that I felt was really needed for you ADA holders out there. We're going to be giving our short-term outlook, our mid-term and our long-term, and what's going on right now with Cardano. And really, you can't talk about ADA without talking about Bitcoin, the state of the cryptocurrency markets, and really markets generally. And for those of you that only tune in for Cardano content, it is 100% worth watching my daily cryptocurrency market updates, because we're telling you what other people just simply don't. We're giving you the facts of what's going on right now and an outlook moving forwards. And you guys know, if you do watch my daily cryptocurrency market updates, we've been saying for a while now that we're actually expecting more downside continuation. I still think this market has lower to go. And the real question is, well, if Bitcoin sells off, what happens to Cardano specifically for this video? That's what we're going to be getting into. And I'm going to be reminding people as well that ADA isn't going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You always get these same individuals with the same mentality that's essentially dictated by what's going on in the market, popping up time and time again. When the price goes down, they're calling for cryptocurrency in the end of the market. When the price is up, these guys are the people FOMOing at the top. And what you want to do is have a long-term outlook and understand that in the short term, anything can happen and that you should be able to adjust accordingly as data presents itself. And that's really how you're going to succeed and thrive in this market. But Cardano isn't going anywhere, and we're going to be reminding people of that. And I've actually been doing a lot of interviews with individuals actually building on top of Cardano, and there's a lot going on, and we have some amazing people within, some amazing architects within the Cardano space, and it's got one of the most undeniably exceptional communities that I've ever come across in crypto. One of the most zealous and passionate communities about ADA, and I love that, and that's what I think is going to really drive this cryptocurrency moving forwards, certainly given the way that I think the overall market's going. So what's happening, guys? Let's start on Bitcoin. We're going to be pulling up this chart here because this is essentially what I think you're now going to be looking at. I think we're going to have to wait for this market to bottom, and I don't think the bottom is in yet, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys know, certainly if you watch me consistently, that we did say when we were under $1, anything under $1, that isn't really positive and kind of gives more of a bearish outlook. And the real thing that makes me think this market is going to continue to go down even more, of course, is Bitcoin. We've been covering Bitcoin in great detail daily and all the things associated with it. Today, for example, we looked at the Bitcoin dominance chart. I think I've got the Bitcoin dominance chart here, which I'll pull up, and how I actually think this is going to break to the upside. And that would kind of support, we're going way too small on the time frames there, the kind of thesis that I have in regards to the overall market and the way that it's going. And I think Bitcoin is going to, the dominance certainly is going to see a move up, given the fact that people are going to look for safety in this market. Now, that doesn't mean that crypto can't pump in the short term. And I know I'm going to be talking to some of you when I say this over the screen. I think a rally in ADA is going to see a lot of people actually take that as an opportunity to exit in anticipation of further downside. I've seen the comments, I know the kind of sentiment surrounding it. So I think a rally is going to be short-lived. Certainly given, and I don't trust crypto not to pump, that's why the sort of leverage that I use when I short this market, the only altcoin that I don't short, by the way, is Cardano. And it's one of the few altcoins that I hold my entire bag. I've never sold an ADA in terms of what I've actually accumulated and bought. And I won't be doing or planning on selling well into the future, because I think this is a crypto that's here to stay. But I think if we do get a rally, my outlook for Bitcoin ultimately is a negative one. I think we've got more downside to come. I don't think this is a clear bottom here. In actual fact, this structure doesn't fill me with a great amount of enthusiasm moving forwards. And we have been covering on our daily cryptocurrency market updates some of the altcoins that we like to look at for shorts, such as Luna, Rune. We've got quite a few shorts across the board. And the reason I'm shorting the market is really to hedge my net long spot position. Because if the market goes up, I make money. If it goes down, I make money. You know, and it's a real hedge in a very choppy market that, you know, is quite hard to call on the short term. But I think, you know, the outlook for ADA is that we do see more downside. And that really comes from my Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrency market biased. If Bitcoin sells off, your altcoins are going with it, and Cardano is included in that. And you're looking at it now going, well, how much lower can it go? Because today it's already 75% down. Welcome to the cryptocurrency market, ladies and gentlemen. It can really bring the pain when it wants to. And that's what, you know, I'm not calling for us going back to cents or anything like that. I just think there's room for more downside before we get some sort of a clear bottoming signal. And I think that that's what's on the cards. You know, I'm looking at this, and you guys know that when we sort of broke this $1 mark, I had basically said that was a negative sign and probably the precursor for more significant downside continuation. And this was, in my opinion, a deviation above it, and you're now to the underside of it. It wouldn't surprise me to get a rally. Certainly, we've got the Fed speaking this week, and, you know, markets can be very volatile at the back end of that. But again, I think people will look to take, and we are going to look for further downside. And this is really, we'll switch it back to the weekly time frame, what I'm looking at for Cardano. You know, this kind of a structure here. Something like this to play out, where you have your run up, we're coming down, and we're going to find some sort of a bottom. It doesn't have to be now. It could be now, by the way, guys, and my outlook could be wrong. But I'm just here to be as honest as I possibly can with everybody. You know, this is what I think we're looking at. I think we're looking generally across the board for the cryptocurrency market and more downside continuation. And Cardano's rolled up in that, whether you like it or not. And that doesn't, the price really, in my opinion, doesn't reflect ADA. And it just reflects, you know, speculation, markets, and the conditions, the liquidity, and everything associated with it, and what people are or aren't doing. I don't think, given, and certainly some of the interviews that I've been doing over the past couple of weeks, I'll be releasing over the next week or so. You know, I don't think the price is really reflecting what's going on, because we've got some amazing architects building on top of Cardano, and we've got dexes. I mean, Wing Riders is a very impressive dex. We've got ADA Finance, talking about the June hard fork, and they're looking to launch. You know, we've got a lot going on in this space. I mean, just today, I believe Charles was speaking at Fox Business, talking about the future of blockchain. You know, Cardano founder explains blockchain technology and its future. And it was a very positive outlook. And this is something that you guys all need to pay attention to. You know, it's very easy to get, and including myself, you know, I'm a victim of it just as much as anybody else, get caught up in the sort of emotional side of things. But ultimately, you know, this is my outlook for ADA. I think there's more downside to come, but I think a bottom does eventually come in. And essentially, we all know what happens. You know, once we've established some sort of a bottom, we'll get rid of that for now. That was not the tool to get rid of it. You know, we then get that continuation, that move to the upside. And, you know, Cardano, of course, from $3 is down significantly. But does that mean it doesn't get back up to $3? I think eventually it absolutely will. The exact amount of time that's going to take, I think, is dependent on a whole basket of things. But this, again, is something that I'm certainly looking at. You know, we're in this kind of a structure. It's obviously derived from the Wall Street cheat sheet, which is something that we spoke about. We actually expected this, and we did make a video about this a while ago, thinking that this was actually going to play out a lot sooner than it has. You know, we were looking at ADA and we were saying, okay, you know, you could be doing something like this up here. That hasn't been the case. And the real driver for downside is markets generally. You know, we've been looking, and again, I don't want to, this isn't self-promotion here. The reason that I'm saying go and watch my daily cryptocurrency market updates is really because you're going to get a lot of knowledge from that about not what's just going on in the cryptocurrency space, but what's going on across the board and how that has how that weighs upon the cryptocurrency market. And it is certainly weighing it. It's driving it in terms of price, guys. And we've done a lot of analysis on that that's hopefully useful to you. One thing that I want to pull up again is when we look at this, you know, you've had a def cross on the 3-day, Bitcoin's heading to it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rally here. You know, you could be forming some sort of double bottom, but I think any kind of a rally is going to be somewhat short-lived, given the fact that we've got people that are actually looking to get out of this market and looking to get rid of their ADA bags. And I know I'm even talking to some of you across the screen as we speak. So this is really it. Short-term outlook, you know, I think Bitcoin's at a very tender spot right now. And I think ultimately, you know, a falling of this is typically done with some sort of momentum. You can see over here in 2018, sorry, and you can see over here in 2014. You can see that was the case, and it's quite similar. You can see how you kind of test off it and you kind of bounce along it before breaking it. You know, the macro backdrop supports that. That means your altcoins are going with it, in my humble opinion. The good news is, I mean, one thing I was looking at today was just the amount of money we've got sat in the top 3 stable coins. You know, we've got nearly $150 billion just in the top 3 stable coins. This is coming back into markets, by the way, guys, at some point, and that's going to kind of coincide with the bottom that we're looking for. And we're going to keep you up to date and try and figure out exactly when that is, but the structure so far isn't a clear bottoming structure. It's just simply not there. And it's I understand why people get annoyed when individuals like myself talk about the price, because it kind of trivializes what's being done here and blockchain in itself and how revolutionary it is. But I think the majority of people are in this space for the price. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's human nature to want to better and improve your life via doing certain things. And, you know, I can kind of understand, you know, the price is just simply non-reflective of the project that it's trying to represent. There's a huge disconnect there, and that's something that we've always said. You know, price is only one metric to weigh at value, and it's often a wrong one that's really driven by everything other than the asset that it's trying to represent. So my outlook short term, to recap everything, is that we do see more downside. Like I say, I'm short a number of altcoins. One of my favorite is Luna, not because I have anything against the project, just because it's not quite done in terms of a sell-off what your others have. You know, I think it could have quite a long way to go, considering it's only 30% down. Some of your altcoins are like Cardano and a number of others out there. Some a lot worse, are 70, 80. Some of them are even getting towards 90% down. And that's one of my sort of favorite shorts. But I do think this market generally is going to continue to the downside. That's going to be dictated by Bitcoin and the macro landscape, which doesn't look very positive and accommodating of a flourishing market. Lots going on for Cardano. We've spoken to a lot of these teams. They've come on the show, and we're going to be releasing interviews with them. The June hard fork on Cardano will present numerous important upgrades, which will improve this blockchain. This month, we will be launching our DApp, first on testnet, then on mainnet. Our goal is to present functionality to DeFi ecosystem. So AADA Finance, which is a project that we've covered in great detail, or we've certainly covered previously on the channel, are launching within this month. You've got Wing Riders, which is already out. This is an impressive DEX that's built by developers. It's built by real people that have real insight and that are actually looking to build and be a core component of the Cardano ecosystem. You can get double yield as well, in regards to the fact that when you actually provide your liquidity to the DEX, they actually go ahead and stake your ADA. They've also got USDC, USDT, Bitcoin, and Ethereum on there. And of course, you've got Charles really continuing to burn the flame for not only Cardano, but the blockchain space, despite the market action. And that's one thing that you really need to pay attention to in times like this, is that your, the building doesn't stop. Just because the kind of FOMO and the market euphoria has somewhat gone away, that doesn't mean that, you know, these projects are any less, you know, durable or any less amazing than they were when the price was at $3. In fact, they're more in a more powerful position as a blockchain than they've ever been, and the price just doesn't reflect that. And it's a real kind of testament to the fact that markets are very much sentiment driven. So this is what I'm looking at. How far we retrace, I'm not 100% sure. I think this really depends on Bitcoin and everything, and when I can start to see some sort of a bottoming for Bitcoin, you know, I think altcoins will follow, and in actual fact, in some cases, front run the market. But this, for me, currently does not look like a particular bottom, and it's on we're the wrong side of this level of support that we previously found currently, which could spell more downside continuation. The good news is, guys, you get an absolutely amazing opportunity to accumulate a cryptocurrency that's here to stay. I get a lot of flack for backing Cardano, certainly from my sort of traditional financial friends, and even my, you know, Bitcoin maxi friends and a number of Ethereum friends. But the reason that I back Cardano, so to speak, or I'm such a fan of it, is because it's got a great community. I think they've built the blockchain in the right kind of way. I don't think they've rushed to market. I think they've essentially, you know, looked at what are the components of a sustainable, scalable, secure blockchain. And they've sort of come up with Cardano after peer reviewing it, putting in the work, and then actually releasing it, albeit late to market with things like smart contracts, which they get a lot of slack for. But they're here now, and they're only going to get better and better and improve, in my opinion. So that is really all I have for you in this video. It was quite a long-winded one. It was really just to sort of give everybody my outlook in terms of the price. Amazing things taking place on the project. And the price, you know, just simply doesn't reflect that. And this is kind of what I think we're in for many of your altcoins. Like I say, I'm short quite a few of them. And, you know, they're not doing too badly, any of those positions so far. So thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you have enjoyed this content, I know perhaps this is not potentially what some of you may want to hear. You know, I'm going to tell you the truth of what I think is coming next. And I'm going to stand by that bias. And ultimately, it's always been, for me, Cardano has been a long-term play. I'm in this for the next 5 years, and I think it's going to do absolutely wonderfully. And we do come, the good news is, with everything going on, we do come out the back end of this. And I believe we're going to be going much, much higher than your sort of $3 range eventually. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video.